We're talking Philly sports.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
And New York sports.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
And the unique history and relationship between the two cities. With Mike Carr.
You're so money and you don't even know it.
And Adam Turkel.
I agree. Nobody's madder about than I am. They're going to say that, and I'm going to look at them and say, hey, you're right.
This is the Battle for I-95 podcast, starting now.
All right, welcome to the Battle for I-95 podcast. This is episode 15, and we are brought to you by Easy Moving. Moving's hard enough, do it the easy way. Servicing in Fairfield, Connecticut. Removal in New York. I am the Turk, Adam Turkel, and my partner is Mr. Mike Carr. How you doing today, Mikey?
We'll know in a few hours after the Phillies game, but me personally, I'm doing all right. You know, the kids are getting back to school. The young guys are starting. We had our jamboree last week for the kids that I coach. Big shout out to them, 4 Northeast Raiders. So yeah, we're doing all right.
That's good. And you know, in my world, I'm a little tired. I'm not feeling good. Part of it is I'm exhausted from lack of sleep and lack of stomach from watching the damn New York Yankees.
Oh, what's wrong?
Make me freaking miserable. So, you know, I'm going to give courtesy of this to Sal Licata on WFAN. He threw a stat out at me today I didn't realize, which is that in the last 69 games, the Yankees are 34-35 with the 18th best record in baseball in that span, which we're talking a large sample size. We're talking over half a season now where the Yankees are a sub 500 team basically. And, you know, they go play Detroit. They lose 2 out of 3 to that team. Not a team they should be losing to, and of course they blow a game. And then last night against the Guardians, for once Clay Holmes doesn't blow the game, but they blow the game in other ways. And this team just can't get out of its own way. And there's a couple of major problems with the Yankees. One we've talked about, the closer situation. It's just not stable. 10 blown saves leaves the majors and leads it by a lot. The Yankees have to come up with something else. And I don't say these problems without solutions, Mike. I always bring solutions to the table. Whether the Yankee brass and Brian Cashman are smart enough to listen to me, that's another subject. But I do come with solutions. So I'm not just going to sit here and bash what I see, but I'm going to give you some facts and I'm going to follow it with some solutions. All right?
Okay, let's hear them.
All right. So
solve your own problem.
Right. So problem number 1 we know is Clay Holmes. Problem number 2 is outside of Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, and maybe a little bit of Wells now, who's starting to hit the young catcher. Nobody else in the team hits. DJ LeMahieu is hitting 160 in the last 15 games, 190 overall in the season. He's a shell of himself. He doesn't play well defensively anymore. He's slow. He can't play no more. It's that simple. He can't play no more. John Carlos Stanton's coming back from the injury. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. A dead stick to the table. And Verdugo, who was an off-season signing, who started well, you know, we're talking about a career 280 hitter who has in his past been a doubles machine. He can't hit worth a lick for 2 months now, Mike. 2 months he can't hit. So the order is nobody, Soto, Judge, nobody, right? And that's just not going to get it done. So now I'm going to bring you solutions.
What's your solution?
Another problem that happened today is Luis Gil just went on the injured list. 15-day injured list. Pitching last night, he came out in the 4th inning, discomfort in his lower back. They don't think it's a big deal. He's probably going to do his 15 days, start coming back. Solution number 1, the closer situation. Clark Schmidt will be back in the next week or so.
Okay.
He's going to go into the rotation. When Luis Gil comes back, since he's never in his life thrown this many pitches in his life, he's already way exceeded any amount he's ever thrown. maybe it's time to take that live strikeout arm and make him the closer for the rest of the season. Is it a gamble? Yes. But what's going on now isn't working. So it's time to start gambling if you want to save your season.
It's like when the Phillies made Brett Myers the closer.
Sometimes you got to think outside the box,
right,
and do something that maybe you normally wouldn't do. And I think that is a potential solution, because now it also extends your bullpen. Holmes can now pitch the 7th and 8th inning, and it's not that Holmes stinks. He might just not be a closer because he pitches to contact. He's just not a closer. It's that simple. Some guys are, some guys aren't. He's not. Next solution. DJ LeMahieu, Giancarlo Stanton, and Alex Verdugo all get nailed to the bench. You bring up Dominguez, your biggest prospect. You throw him into the mix. Last year when he came for 7 games, he looked like the next coming of Mickey Mantle. Is he going to be that good? I'm not saying he is, but right now Verdugo is so bad that you got nothing to lose to give it a shot. LeMahieu out. Boom. This kid Wells has to play. Maybe he plays a little first base or something, so his bat's in there all the time. But Wells has to play. And you play Peraza, the young shortstop. You can play third anywhere in the infield. Play him at third base. And you got to play Oswaldo Cabrera. You got to play these 4 kids all the time. They're the only – Brian Cashman, listen to me. It's your only chance to save the season. That's it. Otherwise, you're not going to save the season, Brian. And we're all going to be pissed off again, Brian. We're all going to be mad again because, once again, the Yankees are going to have started like, the team of the decade and then fall into a 500 team. And, by the way, the Houston Astros now lead their division by 5 games.
Yeah.
So playtime is over, Yankees, if you're serious. There's no more waiting for DJ LeMahieu to re-find it. There's no more hoping Verdugo breaks out of his funk. And let's keep it a bean. If Stan doesn't hit it 450 feet, he don't hit it. It's that simple. Time to move on. Time to do something about this. And that's your Yankee report, brought to you by Turk.
Right now you got the Guardians and the Central with the number 1 seed if the playoffs ended today.
Because they beat the Yankees yesterday.
Followed by the Yankees in second. And Houston would be playing in the wild card round against Minnesota.
The only thing that is saving the Yankees right now, Mike, is that as bad as they are, Baltimore's been worse. Baltimore just lost 2 out of 3 to the Schmets.
Yeah.
Right? So Baltimore's
the
actually been, they've been worse than the Yankees. As bad as the Yankees have been, I mean, think about it. Either the Yankees or the Orioles could have a 10-game lead at this point if either one of them would have played 5-6 games over 500 over the last 60 games. Just that much. So the Yankees don't have solutions to grab at unless they go with internal solutions. You're always propping up your young players. The Yankees never want to trade anybody, right? They didn't want to trade Spencer Jones to get a top-notch pitcher in the beginning of the season. They held on to all these guys too long. Gary Sanchez had that work out. All these guys, they hold too long until their value is gone. Now you can't trade them for anything. And if you got these kids sitting there, and Oswaldo Cabrera, while he's not a great player, he looks like a gamer. He hustles. He dives. He plays really hard. He turns nothing into something sometimes. Peraza looks the same way. And Dominguez is your highest rated prospect who, when he came up last year for his 7 games, was hitting like 500 with 5 home runs before he got hurt and blew his UCL out, which he's first coming back from now. Let the kids fucking play, Mike. The old guys ain't doing it. Let the kids play. Let them play.
I mean, you don't think that's a big spot to be put in a
I don't think you have a choice.
I
don't think you have a choice because if Verdugo's hitting 160 over the last 50 games, if DJ LeMahieu's hitting 150 over the last 50 games, right? If Stanton, since he's come back from the injury, is hitting 120, what's the worst that can happen, Mike? How much worse can it get?
You don't have a magic number yet. Well, you do, but I mean, it's like 30. And
you go into the postseason with this lineup the way it is, with a bunch of 190 hitters around Judge and Soto.
Yeah, what happened?
Nobody's hitting except for them two.
Yeah.
And last night, Mike, on a night that two of them, they hit back-to-back home runs, they still lose. How much more you want these guys to do? I mean, last night was a joke. So they bring in Trent Grisham to pinch run, right? And Wells to pinch hit. Now, Wells is going to be a player. He's a catcher. He's young. He can hit bombs. He's got that lefty stroke that you can tell is going to fit Yankee Stadium well. He hits a bomb that doesn't clear the wall by 4 inches. I mean, top of center field, 408.5 feet. He didn't get the 409. He got 408.5.
Okay.
Grisham coming around third looks like he lays off for a second. And this guy's fast, Mike. This isn't freaking DJ LeMahieu. Grisham can run. Slows down for a second and gets thrown out the plate. That cost him the game. Now you go to extra innings.
Third base coach.
No, it was him. I've seen the replays.
Oh, yeah?
Him. It was him. Like, he thought he was going to be stopped, but the coach was waving him. Rojas was waving him. And boom, he gets thrown out the plate by half a step. And that hesitation is what cost him. Right. Now, there was talk at first, maybe Rojas put up the stop sign first, and you see in slow motion, his hands go up. But no, his hands go up because they're going into the circular motion. Go. So, you know, they find new ways to lose. They just find new ways to lose. And then Boone in the 12th inning shards on himself and for some reason pitches to Ramirez when he doesn't have to. Or is it Ramirez, the kid's name? I can't remember the kid's name. He's their best player. Might be Ramirez. But anyway, with second base open, first and third, nobody out, and someone who had pinch run hitting behind him. So it's not even, you know, someone who's playing every day. It's someone you can pitch to. And you get behind 2-0, and you throw him a give-me freaking fastball down the middle, and he smacks it up the middle, and all of a sudden Cleveland's off to the races and puts up 6 runs in the inning. I mean, they're just finding new ways to do this all the time, and that's the part that's driving me nuts. Yeah. Listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And, right, it's broken. Yeah. What's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
I mean, yeah, you got to change something. It's not working. So, the Yankees are a mess right now. They're lucky to be in first place by half a game going into tonight's game because over the same stretch that the Yankees are 34-35, Baltimore's 37-36 or 37-34 themselves. So they haven't been great either. And
the last 10, they're 4-6.
Yeah,
they lost last night.
Yep, they lost to the Mets, and they lost to the Mets 2 out of 3. They dropped 2 out of 3 to the Mets.
4 games.
They lost today to the Mets.
They're 3 games above Kansas City.
Right.
For the wild card.
In the wild card. But meanwhile, them and the Yankees obviously going to duke it out the rest of the season. And they're not even duking it out. It's who can lay down lower and let the other one step over them. Because that's what it's looking like out there. It's a mess.
I mean, you only got it by half a game.
They shouldn't have that, Mike. They got to fix this team. Check this out. On the current trajectory in Major League Baseball, and this is how mediocre baseball is this year, for the first time since 2014, nobody's going to win over 95 games. First time in 10 years, second time in the last 20. Wow. So it's very mediocre right now.
That's competitive baseball. What are you talking about?
That's mediocre crap. I watch these games. Trust me.
You're just so used to winning 100 games a year.
And speaking of mediocre, let's talk about the Phillies.
You want to? Oh, now we're going to put it off on me. I see.
So let's talk about some mediocrity over there. You're lucky that Atlanta just lost 2 out of 3 themselves.
Well, then they pulled one off last night. Our problem is, like yours, the bullpen. I want to ask you something. You're in a game, a divisional game at that, against a rivalry that's restemming itself. You know, let's say the Red Sox had a record like the Braves, and you were in that kind of chase. Right?
If the Red Sox had a bullpen, they would, because the Red Sox have been decent. But
the leadoff guy gets on, get a couple of outs. All right. You got Alvarado, who is. I have a problem with these speed pitchers. You know, the only thing they throw 5 different fastballs, but it looks like they're trying to throw their arm out every time. They whip their body around. They don't know how to throw for accuracy.
It's all about velocity now, Mike. You know that.
I get that, but this guy walks 2 guys in a row. So now you got the bases loaded. You're down 1 in the 9th inning, or in the bottom of the 8th inning. Excuse me, bottom of the 8th inning. Wouldn't you have a guy warmed up? Wouldn't you put that guy in just to keep it close?
Why would you want to do that? The same reason that you didn't walk Ramirez for the Yankees.
Rob Thompson goes, man, I just wanted to, I wanted to keep his confidence. Keep his confidence. He walked 2 guys in a row.
I deal with it. I deal with it all the time with Holmes. I feel your pain. I feel your pain.
Bases loaded. 2 outs. We got to get one guy. He throws a strike right down the middle because they're not fucking swinging. 4 balls in a row. Now you're down 2, going into the bottom of the 9th inning. So you kept it close the whole game. Wheeler did a great job. Wheeler was wheeling, and then you go and you blow it. Now, I'm not going to get too mad about this, even though, you agreed last week that, my blow up is something you want to see more of. You want to see a little more passion out of the kid, right?
I mean, give a shit about your crappy team, will you?
And I told you before, after the All-Star break, I'm starting to give a shit, and I'm starting to get more gray hairs. I found one, and I named it Philly. Because it's getting to that point. The Phillies now only hold a solid, 5 games? 6 games.
What the fuck?
6 games. And they can lose 2 more, get swept, and then they got to go and play Kansas City.
Who's fighting for the playoffs?
Who's fighting for the playoffs? Well,
fighting for the playoffs,
they're in the wild card hunt themselves. They're
Mike,
3 games out of first.
You want to know the truth about baseball right now? You look around the league.
Right.
I think that there's 2, maybe 3 good bullpens in all of baseball.
We have some solid relievers. We have some, but I understand you didn't want to put them in a losing situation. But you also want to keep the game 1 run going into the 9th.
These games all matter now. There's under 40 games left.
These are basically playoff games. These have playoff implications every week for the next 5 weeks. These are all playoff implications.
Yeah.
And you already didn't start on a good note, Rob, and it was your fault. Rob, it was your fault.
And you know what? Going back to the Yankees, right? While the Yankees have sported this garbage 34-35 record.
Yeah.
You know who has the 2nd best record over that stretch? Houston.
Yeah. At 68-58.
I mean, Houston at one point was 12 games under 500 or something. They were terrible in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And in your league, right? Now, the Braves take yet another hit, another player.
They lose their 3rd baseman.
They lose their 3rd baseman for the season.
Come out and punch us in the mouth.
And now, did you see who they signed?
No.
They signed Gio Urshela, which is, why did the Yankees do that? I mean,
I didn't even know he was on the.
And he's been a Yankee before and played well. So I saw that they signed him, that the Braves signed him. I was like, why didn't the Yankees reach out and try to get Gio after he was DFA'd? I don't understand. I just don't understand some of the moves our teams don't make.
Right.
All right. So check it out for both perspectives, Yankees and Phillies. Here we are, 2024. It's a mediocre baseball year. Agreed?
As you say.
There's no dominant team as in
there
years
is no
before
dominant team
where you look and say this team should win the World Series.
Right.
Why did both teams sit around with their thumb up their ass to trade deadline? The Yankees make 1 trade for Grissom. Oh, all right. We got Mark Leiter Jr. Nice little pitcher with a little swing and miss, but that's not putting you over the top. You didn't go get yourself a top flight starter. You for shit sure didn't attempt to get a closer, which has been one of your biggest problems. And you didn't lengthen your batting order much by just adding Grisham because there's too many other guys taking the shit. Your team, why didn't you invest in a bunch of bullpen arms and a closer yourselves? it might make the difference in the National League this year.
Yeah. Well, we did go after a guy who is a closer. I forget what the hell his name is now. But here's the thing, man. It's not having real closing situations. We're down all the time.
You're losing lately, right?
We're
It's nothing to close.
We're
That's the
4-6
way the
in the
Yankees are the
last 10.
opposite. See, this is what's killing me, Mike. The Yankees are ahead in these games, and they're losing. They can't close the games out. That's the problem.
Yeah, our
At least
starting
your
pitching.
team, you could just be mad your guys aren't hitting or you're behind from Jump Street. You know, like I said, you're in that kind of funk as to where we're in the we don't know how to close the game funk. And that's playoff disaster. Your funk can be fixed. I don't know if mine can.
Well, the problem is this is the typical shit that happens during not only in Philadelphia in sports, but just with this regime of Phillies. It's like they just can't get it. Like, you can't get out of your own way.
So you think
start off great?
You think fundamentally the core has a problem? You need
once
to
it
the core?
yes, absolutely. Once it starts going bad, it goes to shit.
You realize what the core is, right? What you're talking about?
Yes, I'm talking about Bryce Harper, Trey Turner. I mean, listen, I don't even think me personally, the way that everybody talks, Bryce Harper's not even the captain of the team, really. Kyle Schwarber is the captain of the team. He's the older guy. He's got a ring. He's got the experience.
It's Ricky Henderson over there leading off, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas Bryce is, Bryce is the face. Bryce is the face of the team. Obviously,
it's because Bryce is the superstar.
He's the superstar,
right? Right.
He's the face. He's, Schwarber's more of the, Kevin Costner and Bull Durham,
Right.
He's the guy. He's just he's trying to help the guys get along. But Bryce Stott at second, he's not hitting. He can't get out of his own way. We don't really have an identity in center field. And last but not least, the relief.
Bullpens.
2-1
are a problem.
2-1, and you have to keep the lead, or at least keep it a one-run game going into the ninth inning, especially with a lineup that can
walks.
put one.
Walks kill. The walks drive me nuts.
Walks.
That's what drives me nuts. When I see Clay Holmes come in and he walks the first batter of the inning, I'm already, all right, we lose. It's over.
I'm not saying for Alvarado to throw like an Ephus pitch. Just go up and lay a 60-mile-an-hour in there to try to get a strike. But at the same time, do you have to throw? You're wild. You lost your control. Why not wing one and, something a little slower but more accurate?
Oh, no.
We suck again. Right. Why not, get a change up in there or something? Now he does. He's going to throw his 2-seam, his 4-seam, his sinker. He's got every fastball in the goddamn book, but he can't throw 80 miles an hour down the center of the plate when they're not going to swing. They're not going to swing. There's 2 outs, 3-1. Put one in the middle of the plate. No, they can't do that.
They're afraid. I think that's part of the problem is they don't want to get lit up. They don't want the guy taking them yard.
You take it, then you're already, first off, so Thompson left him in there. Who cares at that point? He's dependent on you to get the out. Let him light you up. At that point, throw the strike. You got to throw strikes.
You got to throw strikes.
Can't
groove it down the middle, though, Mike. But you got to throw strikes.
You know what I mean. Put it in the strike zone.
Yeah. Well, don't groove it down the middle, though, because then all you get is.
Oh, no. We suck again.
Yeah. And with that being said,
we got to get some major league clips.
I think that as we end our Yankee Philly convo, it's time to bring in the illustrious, the gambling maven of Frankie Ravioli to join the show. And he has his own problems, which we'll get into when we talk about the NFL. Because let me tell you something. The Jets are going to beat the shit out of his team this year. And so is your team. But let's get him on the stage now. And Frankie, welcome to the show.
Oh, my God.
Good
How we doing, fellas?
Frankie. How you doing, buddy?
Did you get that half off?
Here we go.
Here we go.
I'm still laughing.
Here we go.
Go ahead.
Here we go.
Philadelphia.
Okay. Frank, what do you think?
I'm still laughing at the Kyle Schwarber, Ricky Henderson comparison because they look so much alike.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're both lightning fans.
Well,
Yeah.
Mike, I want to start you off with a little funny story just to
Sure.
change the subject matter a little bit, but it's still pertaining to baseball. So I work Friday, and there's somebody at work that I work with that's also on this podcast. I'm like, who are the Yanks playing? He's like, oh, they're playing Detroit. He's like, Frank, and they're playing in Williamsport on Sunday. What do? Move the fences back?
I'm going to mute you. Don't do it. I'm going to mute you.
So now I'm picturing Aaron Judge on the left field line, Soto on the right field line. Let's pick up the fence. I like, no, they play across the street at the.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, they play across the street at the minor league stadium. So,
I thought they
My master's like, I'm glad you said that because I didn't know either.
Yeah, I thought that they pull the fences out and they had some portable stands and they play on the actual same field, But, I wasn't that off because I saw where they played in Williamsport. 2,700 is the capacity.
Oh, yeah, it's a minor league stadium. It's trending on.
They literally could have rolled in the portable things like I thought they were going to do. And
Yeah,
had the
pretty
same
much.
crowd. Oh, my God.
So there's the funniness of the past weekend. And then, watching the Yankees, that makes you laugh too sometimes and cry.
Well, no, it makes you cry watching them lately.
Yeah.
And they just can't get out of their own way. And Frank, did you hear what I said about potential changes? I mean, I think that they're at the point of the season where you can't wait anymore. You have to start Frank, you're a gambler. It's time it's time to start rolling the dice and hoping you come up with the 7. You got to do it. Listen, if they do it and one of these kids hits a 7 on a roll, just one of them, and the other 2 are average, you may have fixed your lineup problem.
Right. If the other guys are batting 200, this guy goes 3 for 10. He looks like Babe Ruth. Why not?
It's terrible right now. You look up and down the order. Torres hitting 230, under 200 like the last 15 games. Verdugo, I already said, for 2 months now. LeMahieu hasn't hit since last year. I mean,
yeah, he's been
done.
garbage.
He's done now. I love DJ. I love him, but he's done. He's one of these guys that aged out really quick. He doesn't have the bat speed. He has no lift. I mean, I don't even want to watch.
Yeah, he was great.
Like
he was great in Colorado, and when he came over from Colorado, he was great the first few years.
First couple of years, he was great with the Yankees.
Yeah,
but you got to do something to save your season at this point, right?
I like the heel move that you're talking about.
He's on the IL anyway, which might be a blessing in disguise because he's already pitched way more innings than he's ever pitched before. So maybe he gets a blow, he gets a little wind back in him. And now you say, okay, Schmidt's in the rotation. The rotation is solidified, right? And this is, again, assuming all things are equal. Schmidt comes back looking good like he did at the beginning of the year. He's pitching well. He's good enough to be your number 2 because then you still got Rodon to be 3. And then you say, all right, where's our biggest problem? It's the closer. So let's move the guy with swing and miss stuff. And I know he has a propensity to walk people too. But so does Holmes.
That's the issue.
But so does Holmes. Holmes walks people
you're right.
too. And he pitches the contact. I'd rather have a strikeout pitcher that walks people than a guy that pitches the contact walking people with traffic.
Right, because he can walk 2 and then he can strike out the side.
Right, exactly. You still have a chance.
I got you.
So
the problem is Brian Cashman's probably not going to do this. He's going to, say, we're in first place. Why make any changes now?
So,
and what's going to happen? They're going to get to the playoffs. They're going to lose the first round.
Why? Because Houston is now ahead by 5 games, and you haven't beat them in 7 years. That's why. Because right now you have to go back to what I thought last year. You can't build to beat the rest of the league. You have to build to beat the Astros. Because that's who's going to be in your way. It's going to be the Astros. I can see it coming already, Frank. I see it already. I can already see it. Verlander just came back. He looks like Verlander. That's a problem for the Yankees.
Yeah.
He always shuts them down.
It's like being caught on the tracks, and here comes the train.
Right. That's right. Choo-choo, motherfucker. Choo-choo.
Yeah.
Was that Major League 2?
I think the Yankees, and I know this sounds like they sound like desperate moves. You know why they sound like desperate moves?
Because it's desperate times.
You have to do something desperate now. You're running out of time. You can't just, like we said, Mike, definition of insanity.
Yeah, Doing
Keep
the
doing
same
the
thing
same
over and
thing,
over
expect
again.
different result. It's not going to happen. Not going to
Mike,
happen.
I love when Adam gets close to the camera
Yeah.
and tells somebody what they're gonna do because I'm
Brian
gonna do that. I'm
Johnson,
gonna do that
listen to
later.
me.
I'm doing that when we go to the football segment. Don't
Listen to
worry.
me,
But go
Brian.
ahead.
Listen to me, Brian. And listen to
Listen to me, LeBron James.
Yeah. Well, because I know they make believe they don't watch our podcast, but they do.
They do.
They
They're
do.
one of
They-
the five, especially
they do.
LeBron. Speaking of LeBron James, you see who the
Like-
Sixers signed?
What?
Ooh.
Speaking of LeBron James, did you see who the Sixers signed?
Oh, the French guy from the
Yeah,
Olympics.
son. Do you guys take French?
No,
What?
Nah, I can't pronounce his.
can't say it.
I heard it like 30 times during the gold medal game.
You ready to
can't
be
tell you.
disappointed, Mike?
Yeah, we'll see.
You ready to be disappointed?
What's that?
He's the 12th guy on your bench. He's not going to
Oh,
do a
damn
lot.
right.
Yeah.
Damn right.
So that don't matter. That's like
But
if
he
that's
dumped
like
on
if-
LeBron.
Yeah.
We got to go out and sign him.
Whatever. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so baseball, I think we can wrap up now. We got a couple of weeks more of August and then September. Season ends September 29th. You know, there's 30-something games left. And the Yankees have 30 games to fix it. Mike, I know I said this about a different team. I'm changing my tune. Beware of the Braves.
Yeah.
Not the Mets.
Oh, now it's getting real for you.
Not the
Were they up
Mets.
6?
Beware
They're
of the
up 6,
Braves.
right?
They're up 6, and the Braves just won't go away. The Mets are fading now. The Mets have shot their load. They're fading. But the Braves just won't go away. And you got to play them 2 more series, don't you?
Yeah.
So you got
Yeah.
6 more games against them.
Yes. I was trying to tell you.
That's a
Not
big,
worried
that's
about the Mets because the Mets will Met. I'm worried about the Braves. And just to bring it up real quick, I did find some magic numbers. The Phillies are magic numbers 29. The Braves is 35 for the division. So it's not like they're that.
It's
far
not that far off.
off. They're
it's
not that far off.
No.
The
No,
Brewers
6 ain't
got
much.
the
We're
best
playing each
number.
other twice.
Brewers got 25 as their magic number.
Brewers up by 11. I think that's the biggest lead in any division.
Yep.
That division is just that division should be
The
playing.
rest are average.
That is
The
terrible.
Mets are 35 to get eliminated.
And I think that they look like they're falling apart now. Well, you know, it's funny. I say that, then they take 2 or 3 from Baltimore. So mediocrity is the theme of the MLB this year. There is more parity, and it's not parity due to good play. It's parity due to mediocrity than I've seen in a long time. I mean, I see some bad baseball with the Yankees. I mean, stupid plays. DJ LeMahieu takes a ground ball at first base. For some reason, doesn't step on first base, throws it home, which they don't get in time. It wasn't a forced play. But all you had to do was step on first and then throw home, and at least you would have got the one out. It's just I see a lot of stupid
Fundamentals.
The fundamental to Grisham last night. You're the pinch runner. You're in there for one reason, bro. One reason.
Run.
To run as fast as you can around those bases. So how you get thrown out by half a step because you hesitated? I mean, it's the little things that Gleyber Torres with his fundamental gaffes all the time, with his thumb up his ass, trying to Olay one hoppers and things like that. They do too many things, except for 2 guys. They do too many things that show they're not a winning team. I mean, yeah, they have the record of a first place team right now. But do I think right now, the way they're constituted right now, that they could beat Houston in a 7-game series? Nope. No, sir. Now, by the same token, Mike, I'm going to ask you a similar question. The way your team is constituted right now, do you think you could beat everybody in the National League in a 7-game series?
Absolutely not.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen, scary times over here.
Yeah.
It's scary times over here. And I was saying this in April. Oh, yeah, the Phillies, the Yankees. I'm like, that's all to after the All-Star break. And we got after the All-Star break. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot tighter. It really has.
Holy God. And now we're sitting here and it doesn't, I mean.
Okay, Mike. Well, it was nice talking to you. That's the show this week. And me and Frankie Ravioli will continue on. I'm sure Mike will join back in.
So as I was saying, the Phillies can't even beat the Diamondbacks right now in a series. Imagine this, because right now the Phillies are the 3rd seed and having to go against the Diamondbacks in the first round.
Have they dropped that far down to the 3 seed?
They are the 3 seed as of right now.
Wow.
And then having to play the Diamondbacks in the first round. Now let's see how
It's not what you want.
Yeah.
I'll
It's
tell you
not what
that.
we want. That'd be the worst. That'd be the worst thing that could happen right now.
Well, the Yankees will get Houston in the first round, so we'll both go out in the first round, so it's okay.
I mean, as of now, guess who we would play?
Yeah.
The Braves.
As of right now, the Yankees would still be the 1 seed, so they would still
Okay.
get the wild card.
San Diego would play Arizona, and Milwaukee and the stinking Dodgers would get the buys.
Dodgers don't look so great, by the way. Speaking of the Dodgers,
Well,
I think somebody in the West might catch
and they're
them.
the best team. in
They
baseball.
might,
the Padres might catch them,
or Diamondbacks. They're both right behind them.
or the Diamondback. Yeah,
They're
Looks
3
like
and 4 games behind them.
there's a good chance that division could be the one sending 3 teams.
Yeah, they're already sending 3 teams as of now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If the Braves fall out of it,
Right.
You
The
know,
Central's not sending anybody else
the
besides
Central's not
Milwaukee.
sending anybody. Nobody's going from the Central. So, all right. I don't know about you guys, but I'm freaking done with baseball. I won't talk about it no more. I'm finished with it, right? So let's talk to more exciting things, right?
Go ahead.
The New York Jets.
Oh,
I'll start with my team.
Oh, we get to start with them again?
Yeah, well, we'll start with them again because it's better news than your team.
change the
Yeah,
freaking record.
Yeah, your team's news is a tragic death right now.
We got some talking about.
We got some Steeler talk. Don't worry about that, buddy boy.
Oh, we do.
Yeah. All right. So
We had a motivational speaker this week, too. We're good.
So the Jets are playing the Giants in their final preseason game, and they had their combined practices today. And there was some snippiness between Sauce Gardner and the Malik Neighbors, the Giants rookie receiver. And that's not surprising. You know, 2 divas going at it. That don't shock me. Whatever. The Jets still haven't said whether Rodgers is going to play or not, you know, in this game. And it's an interesting subject, right? This is my view on the subject. If this was still Green Bay and Rodgers had been playing with the majority of these guys for years, I would say don't play him in that preseason game, even though he hasn't really played in 2 years, because he still has timing and chemistry with them that's still going to be present during practice and, you know, merge practices and all that stuff. But game speed is something you generally only acquire in games.
Right.
And he's played 4 snaps with the Jets. 4. I mean, with a whole new team of guys he has not played with. He doesn't have Randall Cobb here anymore.
He's got to get out there.
I think he's got to get out there.
He's got to get
at least
out
a
there.
series. I think they need to give him a series.
Right.
I don't think it's conducive for his first series in 2 years to be against San Francisco's defense. I mean, that's a superior defense. That's like the Jets. It's a top 5 defense. I don't think you want to throw him into the frying pan without at least letting him get his feet a little bit wet and let him move around a little and feel what it's like to have somebody chasing him again. You know, nothing's been resolved with Reddick. But I will say again, it's your career to lose, son. Hassan, are you listening to me?
Here we go.
Are you listening to me? Okay? Hassan, if you don't play this year, your career's over, son. I want you to understand this. I don't know if your agent is telling you the truth or not, but I, the Turk, have nothing but love for you, and I'm going to give you the truth. If you don't play this year, you might as well just go and do whatever it is you're going to do after your career because it's over. That's my message to Hassan Reddick.
Oh, he heard you.
I hope he
I
did.
think maybe he just doesn't want to be at camp. Might just be that.
I so hope. But
Nah.
you know what? I don't know if that's good
It's
either.
got some
Frank.
money to do with it, too. He wants that contract.
Frank,
I know it's got some money to do with it, but
What
a lot of these
happens
guys don't
when
want to go to camp.
what happens when guys don't go to camp?
They get hurt. But he
Right.
gets paid, so he don't give a shit.
Dude, if he gets hurt, right, he ain't getting shit next year again anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, if he wants a contract, the longer he waits, the more he's jeopardizing himself way more than he's jeopardizing the Jets. And I want him there because I think, again, I said this to you guys last week. I think he makes my top 5 defense a top 2 defense. I think that edge rusher that they don't have will make the difference in that. And he is elite at what he does. He's an elite edge rusher.
Yeah.
So it's not that we don't want him to play, but Joe Douglas has obviously got a bug up his ass, which, again, makes me think more and more he was lied to. He's like, you know what? Screw you. I'm not trading you. I'm not giving you a contract. Come to work. Like the post office says to me, come to work. Like Frank says, take off on Monday. Come to work.
Oh, he's an angry cat on Mondays.
Yeah, so I don't understand at this point if Reddick thinks he's helping himself. Really, he's not. He just isn't. And I really hope that he's not one of these guys that's blindly listening to his idiot agent that has now put him in a bad position. Because he can't win this. He can't win because he was traded. It's not like the other situations where Le'Veon Bell, his contract was going to expire because he wasn't just traded to Pittsburgh. He'd been there since he was drafted. This is different. Mm-hmm. Reddick was just traded. If he doesn't play this year, Hassan, they have your rights for next year if you don't play this year, son. I mean, it's real simple. So, otherwise, we're this close, guys, to the season. We're this close.
College football this weekend.
College football starts
Saturday.
Opening
this weekend.
That's right. So on next week's show, we'll finally get to talk some football live action. And let me tell you, man, before we go any further with the NFL, these conferences are confusing the shit out of me in college football.
Oh, absolutely.
The ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference, has California teams in it.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where Oregon is now? Where the hell is Oregon?
Where Cali
they're
in the Big Ten.
Big Ten.
Big Ten.
Oregon's in the Big Ten. They got Stanford and Cali in the ACC. What? I don't even know. What? Yeah. Thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking, And I don't understand why.
It's
stupid is what it is.
It is dumb. And you know who's in? The Pac-12 is still a conference. They have 2 teams.
What 2 teams?
Washington State and Oregon State.
That's it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
That championship's going to be fun when they're both, 3-9.
Oh, wait, they're actually going to have a Pac-12 championship?
They're guaranteed to have a championship berth, I'll tell you that.
It's a conference.
Yeah, but it's not one of the big 5.
It got bumped from the 5, but
one of those teams would have to have an incredible year and get in that large bid. That's how it would have to go down for them. And Notre Dame, guess what?
Just because they're Notre Dame. They win 10 games, they're going.
Yeah, but they're still not going to be a top 5 seed.
Right,
because the top 5 seeds are all from the Power 5.
This is my problem with
unless they go undefeated. Unless Notre Dame goes undefeated,
still not
and every other team has a loss.
Frank,
but they still play some. They play
the playoffs, Frank.
The rules.
No, I get that.
The playoff rules are the top 5 seeds are the 5 conference winners.
Oh, so they can't, no matter what.
No.
Right.
The best they can do, even undefeated,
is number 6 seed.
Is 6. That's it.
Huh.
So,
well, then why don't they just go to a conference by now?
I think
they still got that money deal, right?
I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to force everyone into a conference. I think that's exactly what the NCAA wants. They want Notre Dame to join the conference.
I think because basically what would happen is because Notre Dame has USC, Stanford, but they also have Army as a rivalry. So they're in different
Michigan,
conferences. And they're all over
the same type of teams.
We have an old saying in Brooklyn: tough shit.
Yeah, right. But that's what they want to continue their pageantry and their tradition.
And they'll still get some of it.
And that's why they get considered for the playoffs now. And even they were national championship contentions because they play teams like that. They play shit teams.
You guys just fucked me up. I didn't want to get this deep on college football yet. Right?
Michigan State's another rivalry.
Because we're still talking NFL. So
Michigan.
Yeah.
We'll save some of this for next week. But there's a lot to talk about with college football between the conferences. We'll have our
I
first
could
week
yell
games.
about Notre Dame football and how
We'll
much I hate them for an
We'll
hour.
talk about all that lovey-dovey stuff. But
All
before
right.
Well,
we
the
get
Yankees
there,
and Phillies will go 5-5 next week, so then we could just go right to football.
well, now we got to talk about this.
Oh.
Tell us about your birds, Mike, with the song in the background. So there's pageantry.
Cut my music. So, Eagles beat the Patriots again. They beat the Patriots again.
Who cares? Preseason. Who cares?
They look. Listen, they look deep. They look deep. It looks like the guys off the bench are stepping into both Moore's and Fangio's without even a hiccup. It does. They are
Mike.
fitting right in.
You want to know a very good stat for you right now?
What's that?
That Kenny Pickett has more touchdowns and yards than Russell Wilson.
Then Russell Wilson. I was getting to that.
And Justin Fields combined.
I was getting to that. That was going to be my segue into the Pittsburgh, but thanks for ruining
I'm
that.
sorry, I couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait. I had to throw that.
Wait, Adam just said a minute ago it's preseason. Go ahead. Keep going, Mike.
Correct. It is.
Yeah,
Keep
but I mean,
talking about.
I know.
We'll get to the Steelers after, Mike.
Kenny Pickett had, at least as an interception, and I think he had under 10 completions in his first game, and he still has more yards than both of them combined.
That's sad.
So thanks for that. I appreciate that.
Has Barkley played at all in the preseason, Mike?
Has who?
Barkley played at all?
No, we haven't seen Jalen. Jalen threw his. Apparently, this is a record. Jalen threw his first interception at camp today.
I heard that he was like 690 something straight
without
interception in camp. I heard that. Yeah,
yep.
I did hear that.
And Darius Slay picked them off. So I think that ball.
Mike, is that corner?
On top of, huh?
Is that corner that you drafted number 1? Is he starting for them?
So, he is looking like he's going to play the nickel.
Okay.
Now they're trying to move. I think what's going to happen is they might end up trading James Bradbury. And for the people that don't know who James Bradbury is, he's the guy who cost us the Super Bowl.
Former Giant.
Former Giant. Although the call was bullshit, it wasn't a hold.
It was a hold.
He had nothing in his
By the book, it's
hands.
a hold.
It was a hold.
There was nothing in his hands.
It was a hold.
Bullshit.
The point that you're bringing, which is correct, is that it's something they didn't call all game. That's why it was a big deal.
Oh, listen, that was a physical
It's
game.
not that it wasn't a hold. It's that if you're
wasn't a
letting
hold.
it go all game, the contact,
You're
you
allowed-
can't pick that spot.
You're allowed to mark.
Right.
You're allowed to mark your receiver, and he marked his receiver.
Again, it depends on the game's being called. They didn't call that all game. So you can't call it at the end of the game if you're not calling
Almost
it all
3 years
game.
ago. I don't care. Okay, I don't care.
All I know is the Eagles have as many Super Bowls as the Jets. That's it. That's all I
Yeah,
know.
but we have one within the past couple of presidents.
Mine's classy. It's in black and white. It's classy.
Yeah. Who
Yeah.
was president then?
Wow.
Lyndon B. Johnson,
Jesus.
maybe.
Yeah.
69? Was that Nixon?
I cannot tell a lie.
He
I don't know. I don't know.
It was no.
Kennedy was shot in 63.
Yeah.
Kennedy was shot in 63, and then Lyndon B. Johnson took over and did one term. I think it was Nixon.
Could have been Nixon. Right.
There's the history lesson for the
There
day.
you go. Thank you, Frank.
But-
you can't get a bet right.
You're
before you
welcome.
Tell us history.
The
Yeah.
Eagles do look good. I don't see Jalen starting, so we're playing the Vikings this week.
You don't even think he'll get a couple of snaps in the last one?
I don't see him starting. I don't see him even a couple snaps. I don't see Barkley going in. The Shipley kid looks really
Barkley,
good.
there's no
for
reason to play
Clemson.
because he's like a glass jar. You don't want to break him,
Who?
right? So I wouldn't play Barkley at all.
Barkley, yeah.
But Jalen,
Jalen,
I would
yeah.
give him a series.
I don't say it.
Mike, you're a football guy.
Listen.
Game
He'd be out
speed.
there. He'd be out there one series.
Game speed. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Get a little game
He'd
speed.
get out there one series. Out. Even run it like a 2-minute drill.
Something. Just let him get some game speed.
Right.
And get the
You
sweat
go
on.
straight out. Hey, whatever. Come on over. You got hit. You got bumped around a little bit. You felt the thunder under you. Get out. That's it.
And you got 2 weeks
But-
till opening day, so
Yeah,
you got time to heal up.
Yeah, Friday in Brazil.
Don't
All right,
agree.
so the Eagles are looking pretty good. The Jets, I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing. Again, it's all injury relative. If Aaron Rodgers plays and is an average quarterback, the Jets are an 11-win team. Their roster's that good. Their schedule's that conducive to it. Frank, Mr. 7 and 10.
Hi, how you doing? How you doing?
We got things going on in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we got things going on.
There's
I
an
don't know
old
what
saying,
things
Frank.
going on.
There's an old saying. If you have 2 quarterbacks,
You have 2 quarterbacks.
you
Yeah,
have
you
no
know.
quarterbacks.
That's why I'm going to talk to Mike Tomlin right now. Mike Tomlin, listen to me. I don't care if they go 3-14 or 14-3. Obviously, I do care. Once you go 14-3, start Justin Fields. He's more exciting. I know he puts the ball on the ground once in a while, and Russell's more. I'm not going to turn the ball over and all this stuff.
I don't know if I
But Justin
not
can
gonna do
run.
that. You know why they're not?
He
gonna
can
do that,
run.
right?
I'm going to tell you why I don't agree with you. Okay? And then, Mike, you can tell him what you think.
God.
I don't agree with you because career-wise, he's a turnover machine. Whether it's putting the ball on the ground, throwing interceptions, and he had a chance early when Wilson couldn't play to show he wasn't going to do that. And guess what he did? He did that. Against second-string defense, he did that. I could not, in my right mind, start Justin Fields off the bat just because of the turnover issues. I get it, he can run. He's not as accurate. I know your passing game isn't as big of a deal right now because you really got one receiver. Everybody else is kind of a no-name. I would kind of have to start Wilson, but Fields is a good safety net if everybody ends up hating Wilson and won't play for
Or
him,
if Wilson gets hurt.
or if Wilson gets hurt or whatever. But Frank, there's too many turnovers from Justin Fields. You can't start him now.
I know there's turnovers, but the other thing is the line has not looked good the first 2 preseason games. Again, it's preseason. But if the line's going to be giving up sacks left and right, at least Justin can get a little bit out of
Did
the
they have
pocket.
their starting line out there?
Well, the first game they had a different center in who's now out for the year. But they drafted a center in the second round who was supposed to be their starter anyway. He's starting. So he's there. But they had the left tackle playing right tackle. The other left tackle that was playing left tackle, he's hurt, but he's coming back. It's a mess.
Sounds
Really
Here
like
we
the
go,
Giants.
Steelers. Here we go.
It's like the little Giants. And the quarterback's not even there.
Wow.
They're standing around you, putz.
So yeah, last year the preseason games they won every game and they looked like the '85 Bears. This year they look like the bad news Bears.
Wow.
Oh, there's
Wow.
So now the only the only caveat I can take from this is I don't get political on here, but one of the candidates had a speech in front of a high school football team, and she told them, you're undefeated even if you lose. So the Steelers, if you go 3-14, you're still undefeated in my
Wow.
eyes.
I know bullshit.
That's
pussy.
great. Yeah.
Participation.
I totally agree with you, Mike. I totally agree with you. I have no idea what the hell she was talking about.
What the?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But
Yeah.
that's what she told the high school football team. You're still undefeated even if you lose a game because you're role models and all this other stuff. Blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
I do not appreciate
Yeah.
that message. I just want you to know that.
So
I
the
do not
Steelers, when they go 2-15, I do think this is Tomlin's end of the over 500.
I was just that was what I was going to lead into. Thank you for that segue and why you got to start Russell.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
So me and Adam, because they are going to beat the Jets. And now Adam's going to call me a welcher because we had a bet when they played the last time. I said I had to wear it one day. He said I had to wear a jersey 7 days. And I only wore it one day.
Time out.
No, hold on.
Don't you
Hold on.
convolute this story. Not only did he say wear it for a week, but everybody in the office heard it, Mike. But him.
I said a
Everybody
day.
else
I
heard
said
it.
a day.
Wait. No, shut up, Frank. So
Blasphemy.
he puts it,
Blasphemy.
shut up, Frank. So he puts it on in the office. The cocksucker don't even wear it a whole day. I'm driving my truck on my route, and there's this prick with it hanging over his shoulder.
Fight!
Oh, we switched. So anyway, Adam, since they're playing each other this year, you have to wear the other team's jersey on the podcast if you lose. Do you take the bet?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll take it one further.
Oh, here we go.
The loser wears the jersey all week at work.
No,
All week.
a
All
work day.
day.
One day at work is fine.
All week.
One day.
I smell.
I don't want to wear a fucking Brett Favre jersey for a week.
I smell pussy. Oh, yeah. Listen.
One day.
All right. Well,
I will make the bet for one day
Well,
and the podcast.
As the witness, what is it? One day or is it a week? Come on.
Why don't we just do it on that Wednesday? You have to wear it at work and on the podcast that Wednesday.
I'll let you off the hook, you pussy, because you know you're going to lose. So,
Oh,
all right,
I don't
we'll
know,
do
you're-
that, yeah. We'll
And
do
I'll give
it.
you my
Alright.
Palomalo
So it's
jersey for
settled.
you.
Yeah.
So it's settled.
I'm ready to make the
Loser-
bet for one to wear the other jersey for a year. That's how confident I am.
Oh,
the
here,
loser
dude.
has to wear
You
the other team's jersey.
You forgot
day
what
long.
happened on the
Better.
fourth play last
I'll do
year.
one better. The loser has to stand in the middle of the floor during a service talk and sing the other
Okay.
team's fight song. I'll go one
Do the
better.
Jets have one?
They have a fight song?
J-E-T.
That's not a
Oh.
fight song.
Yes.
That's like easy.
Yes.
That's how you graduate high school in New York.
I'll make. Then Adam, you got to sing Renegade.
Wow. God damn.
They-
All right, can we
all
move
right.
from this stink of my team? Christ.
All right, so got the Jets looking good, the Eagles looking good, the Steelers.
Yeah, looking good to us.
I think they're playing the Lions this week. I don't even know who they're playing.
We got some segments to do, boys.
Yeah.
First, we'll start with the position segment. The
Okay.
most underrated wide receivers. Does anybody want to give it a go?
I'll start.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Ha. Just in case one of you steal mine.
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, does anybody have an AFC West guy out there?
But no, I don't have an. I have a South.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And this guy is a Pennsylvanian. Drafted in the 7th round of the 2006 draft by the New Orleans Saints out of Hofstra. He,
A Hofstra product.
out of Hofstra, he
Adams might be a Hofstra product too.
was a minority owner of the Atlantic City Blackjacks.
One of the
minority
shittiest
owner
run organizations ever, I might add.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
of the Albany Empire.
That one was run okay.
A minority owner of the Philadelphia Soul.
We know how that ended.
And the owner and president of the Harrisburg Stampede, Marquise Colston.
Colston is a good
Marquise
pick.
Colston.
I'm also going to say Colston is a good guy.
He is a
I
good
had
guy.
the pleasure of meeting him a couple of times.
Me too.
Marquise is a good guy.
And that wasn't just because I met him and he was a good guy.
I think I agree with you. He was underrated. He had a couple of really good years where he
He led the league in receiving yards.
he was scratching top tier for a little while. He was scratching it. Never got the longevity that you kind of need to get that moniker. But Colston is a good pick. He's not a Hall of Famer.
Right.
He did have a couple of Hall of Fame seasons though, where you
06
look
to
at
2015, never left the Saints,
right.
and was 400 yards shy of 10,000 yards.
By the way, Marquise, if you're watching this, I know all you guys do, right?
Gotta talk close.
Your next coach is right here. Just so you know, I'm
I
available.
thought you were retired.
Money talks, Frank.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I got you.
so
Stripes go up, not down.
that is a good pick though. Colston, I like.
That's 2 weeks in a row.
You and me, Frank.
I'll go because I know you didn't take mine. So I think you went with another Hofstra guy.
I did.
But I will go with a guy, and I didn't write the years down for some reason, but it was probably 1988 to 2001 he played. So 14 years, undrafted. He's the first undrafted wide receiver to ever go over 10,000 yards. First, he has the most receiving yards and touchdowns for an undrafted wide receiver. 2 Super Bowl rings with Denver. That would be one Rod Smith.
That's a good pick. That's actually, Frank, that might be your best pick. Of
I
all
had
the
a backup
picks.
if somebody used him. I was going to go with Hines Ward, who I thought also was in that same
That
realm.
would have been a good one too, but Hines Ward is a
Yeah.
borderline Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He's borderline, and Rod Smith finally last year was nominated but didn't make it.
Didn't make it, right. Well, I think Frank knows who I'm picking. and I'm doing what I usually tell you guys not to do. I am going homegrown. But this homegrown is
he was good.
Probably the most underrated receiver through all his levels of playing in the history of football. That's how underrated he is. He did not get a scholarship to Hofstra. He walked on the team. He did not get drafted.
I didn't know that.
He did not get drafted. He went as a free agent invitee and won a spot on the roster. He became so prominent that Keyshawn Johnson started picking on him because he couldn't understand why Boomer Esiason was throwing this guy the ball all the time. He ended up having a hell of a career, 11 seasons, all with the New York Jets. Played from 95 to 2005. We are talking about a 5'10", 180-pound receiver, someone you don't think is going to make it in the NFL. Only ended up with 580 receptions, 41 touchdowns, and 7,365 yards. Mr. Wayne Corbett, who is a member of the Jets Ring of Honor, will never make the Hall of Fame. Didn't have that time, but let me tell you something. The guy was a hell of a player. He was the guy on third down that you were throwing the ball to every time. And Keyshawn hated that. Hated it. On every third down, they were not looking for Keyshawn Johnson. So Keyshawn started crying in the media about it and started calling Corbett names. He actually said at one point he only made the team because of his skin color. Yeah, it was ugly for a while with Keyshawn.
Wow.
They've since made up nice. They get along now. But it was contentious for a while, and Corbett came out of nowhere. They literally didn't have anybody, so he made the team because they had no receivers on their roster. And he really turned into a hell of a player, Corbett. He was Mr. Reliable for the Jets for a long time.
Did he have concussions at the end of his career?
He did. That's what ended him.
And then one other question for you. Would you consider him top 3 personality-wise, like a fan favorite, Corbett, for the Jets?
I would say outside of Joe Namath,
Gastineau,
Klecko, Gastineau, Curtis Martin. Next would be Wayne Corbett.
Okay.
He would be 4th or 5th most popular Jet all time.
So Namath's always going to be number 1 until somebody wins the Super Bowl.
Even if somebody wins the Super Bowl, unless they're home,
they'd have to win 2.
They're never passing.
Or they'd have to win 2.
In other words, to answer your question, Aaron Rodgers is never passing Joe Namath.
Well, they're not going to win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. But yeah. Anyway.
So, yeah, we are. And it's this year. It's this year. Understand? It's this year.
Okay. I heard this last year.
Now it's time for the cream on top of the coffee, for the whipped cream on top of the ice cream and the cherry that goes on top. We are going to talk about the one and only National Football Conference East.
The best division in football.
Not really, but we're going to talk about it nonetheless. Now, before we make our picks, let's just go over a few things. The Eagles are a heavy favorite. The Cowboys.
Not heavy, but they're
That's
favorites.
pretty heavy. That's pretty heavy.
Minus 120, right? I think it was minus 120.
Plus 165.
Plus 165. Then what? 9-1 and 20-1, which those two are.
Right. This is courtesy of DraftKings. By the way, DraftKings. Bills in the mail for that plug.
Yeah, please sponsor our show, DraftKings. Mention. Yeah.
The Philadelphia Eagles are at minus 120, followed by the Dallas Cowboys at plus 160. The Washington Commanders are at plus 900. And the Giants.
The Giants, led by the awesome Daniel Jones.
Plus 2,000.
Danny Dimes.
Throw $10 on them.
Wow.
So,
Frank,
you want to do it or you want me to do it?
I'll start. Mike, you'll be happy because, my picks don't always win. They, sometimes they lose.
Sometimes?
And I am going to throw up in my mouth first, and I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, thank God.
I'm going to
take the Super Bowl.
I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys to win the division.
Wow.
Now, I think the Eagles will make the playoffs, but my sleeper team that'll be better than expected, or maybe make the playoffs, maybe make a run, I'm going to go with the Commanders. I like that they got why do I always forget his name? Who the hell was the coach at Arizona that's now Cliff Kingsbury.
Kingsbury.
He's now their offensive coordinator. he had Kyler Murray under him. Now he's got Jaden Daniels starting day one. I just have a feeling they may make a little bit of a run. And Jaden looks good.
I know it's preseason, but Jaden Daniels looks good so far.
You still got McLaurin. You brought in what's his name, Eckler. You got the other running back. They have a decent defense. I just think they could be 10-7 if things break right and make the playoffs. Probably the Eagles. You might get 3 out of that division, possibly. But I will take the Cowboys to win the division, and it hurts my heart to say that.
Now, let me tell you something. Before I give you my pick, right, I really dove deep on this. I wanted to find any reason I could to tell the Eagles to go fuck themselves. I went digging as deep as I could.
Wow.
And this is what I found. I found that Dallas has taken 2 steps backwards and didn't replace anybody. I found that they have a very unhappy star receiver. I found that Dak Prescott is a lame duck quarterback. I found that Mike McCarthy is a lame duck coach. I found that Jerry Jones sticks his nose in everything. And no matter how much I look at it, I cannot, in my good football knowledge, pick the Dallas Cowboys because I got to be honest with you. I don't even think they're going to make the playoffs. That's what I'm saying right now with Dallas.
And their running back is Zeke, right? Isn't there that the running back?
And they re-signed Zeke, who's now running the 40 and 7 flat. Okay, so there's not much going on. I mean, they lost their left tackle, didn't replace him. You know, they lost one of their best linebackers, didn't replace him. They still have some talent on the team. You know, they're going to be
good
competitive.
Defense.
I would think they're going to win, I'll say 9 games, because I think they're going to lose some games you don't think they're going to. And unfortunately, as much as it hurts my stomach and my liver, I have to say if the Eagles don't win the division, they should move the team to Canada and throw them in the CFL. You should win the division. There should be no reason not to, right?
Nah, they got onside punts over there.
There is no way. No, the Eagles, I'm serious. If the Eagles don't mop that division up, they should be ashamed of themselves, right? Now, the reason I think Dallas is not going to make the playoffs is because I think Washington might. And Washington is going to split with Dallas this time. Washington always plays your team well. Washington always beats the Giants lately. So Washington should have a decent division record. And I looked at their schedule. There's a lot of winnable games on that schedule. And if Jaden Daniels plays well, and that team does have a top 10 type of defense, and they keep games close to the vest, and they don't let anything get out of hand, I believe in their coach enough that he's going to figure out ways to put Jaden Daniels in a position to win. I think that Washington can win somewhere low-end 8, high-end 11 games and maybe make the playoffs themselves. So that's my dark horse team. I think Dallas is going to fall on their face because they're just a mess. And the Giants, while I want to believe in the Giants, Daniel Jones, I'm better off playing quarterback for the Giants right now. All right? Yeah. He's just not it. I love the coach. I think the coach is just waiting for Jones to fall on his face so he can finally draft his own quarterback because he hasn't had it since he got here. I think Daboll is good. I think that, you know, the general manager is good. I think they're kind of like, they were forced into that Jones contract because he won a road playoff game. They had to give it to him, but he's just not it. They lost Barkley. All right, they got a replacement for him, but it's not going to be Barkley. Barkley was their offense. The receiver they drafted, Malik Neighbors, looks legit. I don't think their defense is good enough, though. They're going to get swept by Philadelphia. They might split with Dallas. They're going to get swept by Washington. The Giants will be lucky to win 6 games this year. So I think the division is going to go Philly, Washington, Dallas, Giants. Mike, the floor.
We have to listen to Mike. Is there any point?
You said it all. The Philadelphia Eagles, calling it now, are the 2024 Eastern Division champions of the NFC.
God, I hate it.
Nobody in the division. You know what? I'm lying because you know who my dark horse is? It is also the Commanders.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that you said, like I got the Eagles fandom thing out of there. Let's be serious football guys now. The only way the Eagles do lose this division.
Injury.
Jalen Hurts. Yeah.
Besides that, is a loss to Dallas. If they do not sweep Dallas, I think the Commanders end up undefeated.
Mike, I think
One loss to the Eagles.
I think your team's going to win a division, but I don't think they're going to have the clean, easy sweep you think. The Eagles will still win 11, 12 games, but I can still see them splitting with Dallas and with Washington.
But I think the Eagles, because just like you said, the only way Zeke gets under a 7-second 40 is if they put a steak at the end of the line for him. Okay, or a bowl of cereal.
Hey, Mike.
Okay.
I'm drawing a blank. Do the Eagles and Cowboys usually split, or
the Eagles and Cowboys usually split? I see the Eagles as sweeping them this year, sweeping the Giants, and splitting with Washington.
Okay.
If they don't, I think Washington might end up winning the division.
I think Washington's actually a little dangerous this year.
On something stupid. On one.
They're a sleeper team. I
think they might be a little more than a sleeper. I think they might be better than people think. You know, I mean, if you look
at the first-year quarterback, he could be like C.J. Stroud last year, where he has a great year for a rookie.
I don't know if he has to be that good, even Frank, because the defense is really good. I think he just has to not make dumb mistakes. Don't turn the ball over.
Right.
Control the game. Control the clock.
Got to
keep games close. Give yourself a chance to win at the end. Yeah.
Give yourself a chance to win at the end. And I think they're going to do that, especially with the 8 division games that they're going to have.
Well, so Frank,
six. Sorry.
So everyone knows to bet against Frank. The Eagles are going to win the division. Bet against Frank. You got no shot.
You know what, Adam? You talked me into it. I think the Cowboys are not going to win the division.
No, get them out of here. Get him out.
I'm sticking with it, but he talked me out of it. I'm like, wow, that really.
I spoke to Frank.
That made sense what you said.
And I was all up to pick Dallas, and but Mike, you know me, I'm very meticulous. I had to go through. If I was going to pick Dallas, I had to have a reason to pick them.
You weren't just going to pick them to pick them.
I couldn't find a reason to pick them.
Yeah.
Everything from the coach to the quarterback who chokes.
They don't have a wide receiver. They don't have their number one wide receiver.
Their number one, and even if they do have him, he's not going to be happy.
And the funny thing is, their number one edge rusher is like sitting there going, "Me next year."
That's right.
It's coming.
And you know what?
The same shit, Jerry.
You ready for a bold 2025 prediction in 2024? When this season ends and Dallas is 9-8 and doesn't make the playoffs, or 8-9, Mike McCarthy's going to get fired,
right?
And Bill Belichick is going to be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh. Then
Jerry's going to take one last shot. Jerry's old. He can't bring in some new guy. He can't bring in someone without, unless he gets Vrabel, which, Vrabel's interesting, right?
You're out in your head.
I love Vrabel, right?
I like Vrabel too.
I'm not saying Vrabel because I hope in my heart of hearts that Robert Saleh is so bad that no matter how much the Jets succeed, that he gets fired and the Jets hire Vrabel. Because I really want Vrabel, right? It'll be Vrabel or Belichick, but I got a feeling Jerry's just going to look Bill in the eyes and say, dude, I'm stepping back. You have full control. Get me one more before I die, please. I could see it happening. I mean, he's in his 80s now. You know what I mean?
Who's that team go to?
What?
Who's that team go to? Up for bid? Up for auction when he
No, his family.
No, his son, Stephen Jones.
Would own it. His rich ass son, just like Steinbrenner.
Yeah, he's always in the box with him, his son.
Yeah. Yeah, his son is, I think his son is the assistant general manager.
He's something. Yeah, he's something high up in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So
he might have more kids than that, but that's the main one is Stephen. But there might be other kids.
Right. Stephen is his main son, Stephen Jones.
Right. Just like the Rooneys, there's 700 Rooneys, but
right, just like the Mariners always own the Giants. Yeah. And it's very rare. Like Leon Hess, when he died with the Jets, he didn't have a son. He had a daughter, but she didn't want anything to do with it. He didn't have a son that wanted a football team. So they sold it in the estate sale. That's how the Jets got sold when Leon Hess passed away. So a lot of the majority, the far majority of these franchises, you got to remember the type of owners you're talking about, billionaires.
Yeah.
They're handing it down to their son. They're willing it to their son or daughter. I mean, even what's her name from the Rams? She was willed the team before she died. Georgia. Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. So they always leave it to their children. I mean, what are you in your third generation of Rooneys now, Frank, with Pittsburgh?
Well, what's crazy is the Rooneys and the Maras are like a lot. You know, the one daughter is Rooney Mara because she's married. Mary's married to a Rooney.
Right.
Well, they're married. A couple are married. Right. Yeah, they've been there since 1933. The Rooneys.
Right. So the Rooneys and the Maras have been there forever, and
probably the same. Yeah.
And the same thing will happen with your guy if he doesn't sell the team and he has kids. He'll leave it to his kids, Mike. That's just what they do now.
Yeah. He So I think how the hell did he get it? I know that
he bought him.
Yeah,
I remember
he bought him.
No, but I'm saying, you dick. I think weren't the Eagles similar to the Yankees? Weren't they owned by a broadcast company that sold them?
No, I think what happened was the one owner, Burt Bell. I think
the Eagles had that one owner. There was an Eagles owner, that was going to Atlantic City and lost a ton of money, but it wasn't Bell. I forget his name.
Of money in Atlantic City,
but that was in like the 80s.
Sell the team, and then somebody.
Laurie didn't buy him. Probably.
He bought him. He bought the Eagles for pennies on the dollar. He was going to buy the New England Patriots.
I remember that, but then Kraft got the Patriot bid.
Yep, he was going to buy New England Patriots.
Right.
And wow, man, it got dark in my room. Yeah, he ended up going for the Eagles because it was pennies on the dollar. I'll have to look that up for you as a homework assignment.
Well, the good news is that we're done with all the divisions now, so we don't do any more divisions next week. Okay, anyway, go ahead. Oh, did I forget one?
I want you to remember this when this season goes along, Frank, because this is not happening for you.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs?
Yeah.
You kidding me?
Let me tell you something.
Oh, wait. You didn't say what position we're doing next week.
Day.
All right.
You didn't say what position we're doing next week.
Next week for position players. Most underrated corner.
It's going to be a tough one.
We didn't do corners. Oh, we didn't do corners.
No, we did both safeties.
We did both safeties.
Right.
Now we'll do
we still got corners and outside linebackers, right? And then inside.
Right. Corners.
Okay.
We didn't did we do D tackles? I don't think we did D tackles either.
I don't think we did D tackles or nose tackle.
Right. Well, that would be D tackles. Same thing. Interior lineman.
Right. Okay.
We'll call it interior lineman. That's what we'll call it.
Just one for that.
Yeah. So that's what we'll do next week. And then we have the ultimate argument, probably. The AFC East. I wonder who I'm going to pick. And I will have solid evidence.
You can do it. Get that old ass of yours in. You can do it. Get that old ass.
Yeah.
He's going to say that in a couple weeks. Get your old ass in there, Aaron.
That's what we're going to be telling Aaron. Get that old ass in there. Yeah. You know, the funny thing about the East is the AFC East, there's legitimately 3 teams that can win that division. Legitimately. Right?
Sure.
Depending on your perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, Buffalo is the incumbent. All right, they lost some things. They lost Diggs. They just lost Matt Milano, which is a humongous
That hurts.
loss. That hurt for the season. Gone. You know, that guy gave the Jets fits. He's the only one on Buffalo's defense that gave the Jets fits was Matt Milano. So, you know, I don't like seeing guys get hurt, obviously, but that's a big pain in the ass out of the way for the Jets. And then you got the Miami Tua Tagovailoa, you know, aspect of it with it's funny. Mike McDaniels.
What a nerd.
Part of me hates that dork, right?
He is a dork.
But let me tell you something.
But he can coach offense.
The best press conference ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is great because he doesn't care what he says to anybody.
Yeah.
And you can tell he don't care. He is so condescending. Yep. He actually makes Tomlin look polite when he's condescending.
That nerd makes Belichick look like a good interview.
Yeah. So,
but he can coach though.
But
offensive wise, he can coach.
That team has an ultra explosive offense.
No defense.
They don't have defense, but they got playmakers on the other side. You're going to have to play ball with them. You know.
Oh yeah.
the Jets couldn't beat them last year because the Jets couldn't score. You know what I mean? They held Miami to 27 one game, but the Jets scored 10 points. So, yeah, what are you going to do with that? So I'm hoping for a different result this year, obviously. But, study up on the East, guys, because I'm going to bring the facts. I'm going to bring just the facts.
That's like
Aaron Rodgers is coming for all of you, including you, Frankie. He's coming for your team, too.
All right, bud. All right, slow down.
Do you want me to bring that Palomalo jersey to work tomorrow, or wait until the Steelers win?
Well, you know what? You could bring it tomorrow because I gotta go to the bathroom anyway. At some point, I'll wipe my ass with it. Yeah.
Wipe it with his 2 rings. Wipe it with his 2 rings.
Yeah, right there.
What the fuck?
That's what you're gonna say when I hand it back to you. It's got a brown stain on it. Yeah. You're gonna say, "What the fuck?" But I think that next week we wrap up our picks, and it's perfect timing because the week after is week 1.
Week 1.
Mike's team has to go wear pink and purple down in Brazil or wherever so they don't get killed, right? Yeah. So they got to go do that. And my team gets to go to San Francisco, which is an interesting matchup. I don't know if Rodgers is playing this week or not. If he doesn't, it's even more interesting. That's the team. That's his childhood team. He was pissed off when they didn't draft him, and he's always wanted to stick it to him, yet he beats them every regular season, and they beat him every playoffs. So,
And the Steelers go to Atlanta week 1.
Nobody cares.
Whatever.
No, I kind of care because I want to see Kirk Cousins put up another 500 yards on somebody.
No, the Steelers' defense is pretty good. It's the offense that's going to struggle. Now,
if
they turn the ball over left and right.
This
makes it a lot easier for the other team's offense.
Mike, I told Frank he's about to live my life. He's about to have a really good defense and not be able to score points. And he's going to be so angry watching these games when he's losing 9-6 in the fourth quarter.
I've been angry the last 3 years. Like what?
Reception return, and then they went for 2 and they fumbled. That's
dude. Ever since Ben retired, I've been angry because they don't have an offense. Like at least I knew he could throw the ball.
Yeah, but you haven't. Even last year, you haven't experienced. No. You didn't experience what I've experienced with both Darnold.
I'll cry about it.
You're about to experience it.
With Darnold
Frank,
and Wilson.
And I understand
that. Frank, look me in the eye. You're off.
Oh, and I was going to tell Mike this before. He said he's got gray hair. It's called Phillies. Yeah, I got a bunch of them right here. It's called Tomlin.
Stop it. That guy got.
But anyway,
so in a row?
Oh, you know what?
Whatever.
We should have done most underrated coaches next week. That's what we should have done.
Well, we have time. We can still do that. But in 2 weeks, then we will do 2 Survivor picks each, just for the sake of the podcast. And do you want to do like 3 overs and 3 unders?
Canceled?
Gotta do something
for the sake of the podcast.
Well, no, because week 1's always tough, so you can lose one right away week 1. But then you want to also do like 3 over unders, like 3 overs and 3 unders.
We'll do a whole
for the season wins.
NFL pick segment. We'll do over unders. You know what we'll do? I got an idea. This is what we'll do.
And then we'll do like 3 picks for the weekend.
No, this is what we're gonna do. I got it. Frank, your idea is great. I'm gonna incorporate it into something bigger. Okay.
Go ahead.
Every week, we're gonna do 2 over unders. Right. We're gonna do.
No. I'm talking about over unders for. Listen, I'm talking about over unders for the season.
Shut up.
Wins and losses.
Great. I'm not talking about that right now. Yeah, we can do that too, but I'm talking about a weekly segment. We're gonna do 2 over unders, 2 knockouts until we get knocked out. Right.
Right.
And we're gonna do 2
straight up with the spread,
and we're gonna keep points. Right. You get a point for each win. Understand? If you lose,
fair enough.
You lose a point. A push is a 0. And that way, at the end of the season, we'll have a winner and 2 losers. And by next week, we have to think of something to put on the line to make it interesting.
Listen, you can't. I've already done the worst things. Okay, from Philly. The only thing I haven't done is eat horse shit.
Oh, I got something I can make you do that'll be bad. Imagine you wearing a Yankee jersey.
Heroin.
Imagine you wearing a Yankee jersey walking into the middle of Kensington. Yeah.
You don't think that there's people from New York that come down Kensington? We got the best coach around.
Mike, you're getting darker and darker.
Yeah, I know, because I'm on the Ave.
Wow.
What the hell's going on there? Yeah,
I didn't pay. Listen. I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
What the hell was that? What was that
Like,
movie? What was that movie in the woods?
Every week, and like, it's just it's football season. It gets
my
darker.
God.
earlier.
Well, look at the bright side, Mike. At least you ain't have to worry about your background this week.
Look at the bright
What was that?
side, this fucking guy.
Adam, what was that scary movie in the woods? He looks like one of those.
Oh yeah.
Blair Witch Project?
Remember?
Blair Witch.
Blair Witch Project. He look.
Help, line it up.
That could be Mike going into the playoffs. The Phillies. Help me, please. I'm stuck over here. Please.
Yeah, mine's more like Carrie.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
All right.
But yeah,
Frankie, we're gonna let you go at this time, Frank. And
All right, gentlemen.
get ready to close the show. Thank you for joining us with your crappy picks as always. We always want to know who to bet against. The
There you go.
Cowboys to win the division. What that shows
I'm more
you,
Commanders
children,
fan.
for any young people watching this show,
Don't do drugs.
don't do drugs. Yeah, don't do drugs. Yes.
that would have been cool
And,
if he just walked off.
As always, Frank would like you to like
See you
and subscribe. See you later, Frankie. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here. There you go. Get him out of here.
Oh, I got a good thing.
You got a good thing.
I got a good thing. The
What's the thing?
losers, right? The loser, the all-time loser, has to drive to the other person's main area. So, like, if I lose, I gotta go to Times Square and sing the Jets fight song or something.
Yeah, but how does that incorporate the Frank, though?
Frank's got to drive to Baltimore.
Are we really going to drive to Pittsburgh?
We make him drive to
I'm not
Baltimore.
I'm not going to Pittsburgh. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, well, we have the sure bet.
Well, you know what? We'll come up with something. We'll think.
We'll come up with something.
Something that we can incorporate with the show.
Because
Maybe
you called
one
it
of
a
us has
fight
to
song.
wear-
It's definitely
Oh,
a chant.
I got it.
Oh yeah.
They did something similar to this on WFAN. Actually, they did kind of this exact thing. So I'm going to give them credit. I'm stealing it from them. The loser has to dress up like whatever wrestler the other two decide he has to dress up like for the whole show. He has to do the show as this wrestler.
Okay.
What do you think?
No, no shame here, brother. I'll shave my
I got
head
no
with
shame
fucking
either.
down beers.
Yeah. We'll talk to Frankie about that next week and see what he thinks.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, Frankie can only be Scott Steiner, so
Well, no. I got things I could do to him. I could do gold dust. I could do. We could do Doink the Clown.
yeah.
We
That
could
Philly
do.
native.
Oh, I could make him do King Kong Bundy with a one-piece onesie. Oh, there's so many things that we could do. So many things we could do. Well, we'll talk about that next week. I think that maybe we can do something like that, and we'll figure out some good penance, and it'll be fun. We'll have some fun with
Yeah.
it.
I gotta go pay my electric bill.
Yeah, go pay your electric. You got no lights. Your phone's going to go off soon. It's not charging no more. Your iPad. We got all types of problems. Everybody, please like and subscribe. The battle for I-95. As you can see, we have a lot of fun here. We're about to get in our busy season. Football is going to be coming out the yin yang. We're going to have college football, pro football, MLB playoffs, then eventually the start of the NBA and the NHL. It's going to be a complete clusterfuck for the next 5 months, and I'm really looking forward to it, Mike.
Me too. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Might have to
Can't
go to
wait.
a 2-hour show.
Can't wait. That's right. Bart Scott, New York Jets said that. That's right. And then they lost the next week to Pittsburgh. God damn it.
Uh-huh.
Nah. All right. So this has been the Battle for I-95 brought to you by Easy Moving. Moving's hard. Do it the easy way. Servicing Fairfield, Connecticut. Removal in New York. I'm the Turk. That's Mike. We're out of here. See you later.